ShelterBox Canada is a charity that hand delivers emergency shelters and supply kits for families devastated by natural disaster and conflict. Their shelter boxes and shelter kits contain tools that can help rebuild communities. The organization currently has response teams on red alert and ready to deploy in Panama in the wake of Hurricane Irma. Stephanie Christensen is the executive director, and she joins us now to talk some more about what they can do. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
I'm looking at this table of stuff and thinking, okay, some of this obviously would come in very handy. What's the first priority when you get on the ground to deal with?
So ShelterBox specializes primarily in emergency shelter. So that's our first thing. We need to assess what type of shelter will be the most appropriate to help families in the country. From there, we can also offer other supplies that help families not only survive, but rebuild after these terrible disasters.
Give me an idea. So obviously we have Hurricane Irma going through the Caribbean. You've seen the devastation it's done. What would you offer people on the islands?
So we have our shelter kit here. It's heavy-duty tarps, tools, and building materials. This is a really versatile shelter option because it allows families to either rebuild their home, so if they've lost a roof or a wall, or they can build a locally appropriate full shelter, and we can provide the materials and training to do that.
All right. That is the immediate need to provide the shelter. What comes next?
So along with our shelter solution, we can provide things like solar lights, so important after disasters to give people light after dark.
What a great idea. I mean, you look at it and I'm thinking that's a pillow. It's a light.
Lightweight, waterproof, that will last up to 16 hours on a charge and give families the ability to see in the dark, to go to the bathroom safely at night. It's such an important thing after disasters.
All right, so this obviously comes in handy. What do you got there?
So this is a water purification system. Especially after hurricanes, you know, there's a lot of water everywhere. Water sources have been damaged. There's bacteria, there's contamination. This will provide a family with safe water for up to a year, and it will actually stop filtering water when it can't get 100% of the bacteria out, so that we make sure families always have safe drinking water.
So this looks really basic. Tell me how it works.
So there's a filter in the top that takes out your sticks, your debris, everything like that. And then there's a carbon filter in the bottom that will take out all the bacteria that you can't see in the water.
So you can get clean drinking water. Yep. As easy as that.
As easy as that. We also provide jerry cans so that people can filter a bunch of water at a time and don't have to be constantly filtering all day.
Wow, what a great idea. Okay, you've also got what would be obvious, I guess, would be sort of blankets for people who need them at night.
Yep, blankets, cooking equipment, ground sheets. Mosquito nets are likely to be very important in the Hurricane Irma response. With all the standing water on top of this devastation that people are facing, we don't also want them getting malaria and dengue and Zika. So that will help protect them at night. We also have children's activity packs. So it's you know, crayons and coloring books and stuff for kids who have probably lost most of their possessions. And it's just something to help them recover from that trauma and get back to normal.
Yeah, it's also distracting, I guess, from what's going on around
yes,
them
exactly.
at a difficult time. So how many people or how many families do you end up helping every year?
So it really depends year to year. Right now we're responding in 10 countries. We generally help between 20 and 50,000 families a year. And ShelterBox is growing globally so that we can meet the growing global need. And our goal is to help 1 million families.
What is your expectation for Irma?
Well, I mean, as we've all been watching this hurricane go through, the devastation is unbelievable. There's going to be so much need. We obviously are going to need donations to support our response, but we want to help as many people as we possibly can. One of the great things about ShelterBox is we go to the most remote areas and we reach the most vulnerable people that wouldn't necessarily get aid otherwise from other agencies because we are so easily transportable. So we'll try to reach as many of those communities as we can.
All right. How do people help?
They can donate at shelterboxcanada.org.
All right. Thank you for coming in and giving us an idea of what this is all about. I appreciate that.